having a serious conversation. So, Khabib, you said there's levels to fighting, right? It's easy now for you to do what you're doing. For 30 years, you were training from 3-4 years old. It's been non-stop, okay, non-stop. And in the competitive space, there's a lot of different things. When it comes down to competition, one person could be better in skill sets, but mentally they're weak, or temptations, or habit, or distractions, or friendships, or picking the wrong coach, studying the wrong philosophy, getting distracted, opponent confusing you from your game plan, and you're going this way. As you've gone from the levels of a kid learning how to fight to next level, street fight, 17 years old, boom, and then then you're champion, the best in the world. What have you noticed at each level where you're like, yeah, that guy's not going to be able to compete because he's not willing to do X, Y, Z? What have you noticed at each level?
It's like in fighting game, there is levels. They have levels, for sure. Like, for example, on this arena, I was 23 years old, and I have only one fight in UFC, and it was my second time in my life I see cage. Because when I was competing in Russia, it was no cage, it was ring. And I was fighting versus 29 years old, 14 ranked in the world. He have 17 fights in UFC, and one of the best. He was one of the best at that time. I was fighting with Gleison Tibau, and it was like very tough fight for me. I win like unanimous decision, but this fight bring me on different level because I compete with him. We share cage together, and I beat him. I become on another level, and every fight can bring you on another level. If you between fights gonna learn. If you between fights non-stop and train. And this is, I talk about experience, but there is one more things, like about your mental toughness. Because when you go to the cage, you have so many emotional come same time on your head. And you have to live this, every emotional they have separate places, but if everything come on your mind and this can make you weak, this can make you break, this can make you strong. It's like these things big difference between regular fighters and champions. And for example, it was 2012 here, and after 6 years, I fight neighbor in neighbor arena, T-Mobile Arena. It was biggest fight in UFC history. Like billions people watch, and it was like big pressure. This guy, like you say, he was talk too much.
You're talking about Conor?
Yes, I talk about Conor. Yeah, and it was like very big fight, and it was like big pressure on me. And I remember when I was talking with my father.